I never thought I'd wake up in my mother's skin, staring at my own reflection in the bathroom mirror of that godforsaken McMansion she called home. But there I was, her Botox-smooth face twisted in horror as I flexed fingers that weren't mine, plotting the kind of revenge that would make the devil himself take notes. And the best part? She was trapped in my broke-ass body, pounding on the door she'd locked me out of just weeks before, screaming for a mercy I had no intention of showing. The rain hammered the windshield like it had a personal grudge, turning the suburbs of Bethesda, Maryland, into a blurred watercolor of manicured lawns and picket fences that hid more skeletons than you'd find in a Tarantino flick. I was Alina Hargrove, 28, fresh off a 12-hour shift at the ER, my scrubs still smelling like antiseptic and regret, when I pulled into the driveway of the house I'd grown up in. Mom, Eleanor Hargrove, queen bee of the PDA turned real estate mogul, had texted me earlier, "Come over. Urgent. Family matter." Urgent with her always meant drama, the kind that ended with me footing the emotional bill while she sipped Chardonnay and monologued about legacy. I killed the engine on my '09 Civic, the one dent in the fender a souvenir from that fender bender I'd covered up for her back in 15, and trudged up the flagstone path. The porch light flickered on, casting long shadows that danced like ghosts from my childhood. I knocked, but the door swung open before my knuckles could graze wood. There she stood, all 5'8" of calculated poise in her Lululemon yoga pants and cashmere sweater, her blonde bob not a hair out of place despite the storm. But her eyes, those ice-blue daggers, were different, wilder, hungrier. "Alina, darling," she purred, but it came out wrong, like a bad dubbing job. She pulled me inside, the door clicking shut behind us with a finality that raised the hairs on my neck. The foyer smelled of her signature diptyque candles, fig and leather, masking the rot underneath. "We need to talk about the house." The house. Our house. Dad's house. Before the cancer chewed him up in 2018 and spat out probate papers that named her sole beneficiary. I'd been 25 then, fresh out of nursing school, crashing in the guest room while I job hunted. She'd let me stay, rent-free, in exchange for helping out. Helping out meant covering her tracks, falsifying logs at the assisted living facility where she consulted, backdating invoices to skim Medicaid funds. I'd done it because she was Mom, and Dad's ghost still whispered that family stuck together. But that was before the audit started, before the feds knocked, and before I took the fall for her. She led me to the living room, where the sectional faced a wall of windows overlooking the backyard pool, now a murky green from neglect. "Sit," she said, not a request. I perched on the edge, my Crocs squeaking on the hardwood. She paced, heels clicking like a metronome of impending doom. "The market's hot. I got an offer, 7 figures easy. But there's a snag." I leaned forward, heart picking up. "What snag?" "You own it outright." Her laugh was a shard of glass. "Not anymore. Your father's will. There was a codicil. 50% to you, upon my death or incapacity. Some bullshit about ensuring family harmony. I had my lawyers look into contesting it, but it's ironclad. Unless what?" My voice cracked, the exhaustion from double shifts bleeding through. "Unless we make it look like you're unfit, incapacitated, a liability." She stopped pacing, fixed me with that stare, the one that had cowed teachers, husbands, and half the neighborhood into submission. "You've been erratic lately. The drinking, the pills from work. I could spin it, get you committed, or at least declared incompetent. Then I sell, we split the proceeds fair, say 60-40 my way, and you get a fresh start. Away from here." I blinked, the room tilting. "You're talking about gaslighting me into a psych ward to steal my inheritance." "Not stealing, Alina. Streamlining. For both of us." She sank onto the sofa across from me, crossing her legs like we were negotiating a car lease. "Think about it. You've got that dead-end job, no husband, no kids. This house is my empire. I built it from your father's scraps." Rage boiled up, hot and unfamiliar. I'd covered for her embezzlement, fudged dates on those reports, lied to investigators when they came sniffing. It was me they'd hauled in for questioning, me who pled out to a misdemeanor to keep her name clean. "Empire? You mean the one funded by Medicare fraud? The one where I ate the blame so you could keep your country club membership?" Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "Details. And you're welcome." She glanced at her Rolex, the one Dad bought her for their anniversary, right before chemo started. "Decision time, kiddo. Sign over your share willingly, or we do it the hard way. I stood, legs shaky. Fuck you, Mom. The words hung there, profane in the cathedral quiet of the room. I'd never sworn at her before. Not like this. She didn't flinch, just nodded, like I'd confirmed her suspicions. That's the drinking talking. I'll have the locks changed by morning. Consider it tough love. I stormed out into the rain, keys jangling in my fist, the door slamming behind me like a guillotine. My phone buzzed, text from her already. Don't make this ugly. Think of your future. I drove to my studio apartment in Silver Spring, the wipers slapping rhythmically, tears mixing with rain on my cheeks. How had it come to this? The woman who'd sung me lullabies now plotting to erase me. That night, sleep came in fits, haunted by dreams of swapping places, of slipping into her skin, feeling the weight of her secrets, wielding her power like a blade. I woke drenched in sweat, the alarm blaring 6 a.m. Shift at the hospital. Another day of stitching up lives while mine unraveled. But as I scrubbed in for rounds, a new patient rolled in, transferred from Johns Hopkins psych ward. Male, mid-40s, disheveled suit, muttering about experimental trials gone wrong. Body swaps, he rambled to the intake nurse. They did it to me. Injected something, nanites or serum. Woke up in the wrong flesh. I paused, chart in hand. Delusional, probably schizophrenia flare-up. But his eyes locked on mine, clear and desperate. You get it, don't you? The itch under your skin, like it's not yours. I nodded absently, signing off. Crazy talk. Yet as I wheeled him to MRI, he slipped me a vial from his pocket. Clear liquid, no label. Antidote's a lie. But this flips the switch. Find someone you hate. Make it right. Security hauled him away after he lunged at a tech, screaming about conspiracies. The vial ended up in my locker, forgotten amid the chaos of codes and crises. Until 2 weeks later, when Mom's locksmith van showed up at dawn. I arrived post-shift to find my key useless, a shiny new deadbolt mocking me through the storm door. A note taped there, change for security. You've been served. Stay out. Served? I ripped it down. Eviction notice, citing imminent danger to property based on my substance abuse issues. Lies. All of it. Backed by affidavits from her friends, who'd seen me at one too many wine nights. Pounding on the door yielded nothing but echoes. I called her cell, voicemail. This is war, I whispered to the empty porch, rain soaking my hoodie. Back in my car, shaking, I remembered the vial. Desperation clawed at me. What if, just to see her face, trapped outside, begging? I drove to her office, a gleaming glass tower in Chevy Chase, where she flipped luxury flips for Bethesda's elite. Slipped the vial into her afternoon latte when her assistant stepped out. Watched her sip, chat about closings, oblivious. Heart hammering, I fled before the nausea hit. That night, alone in my apartment, the world dissolved in fire and vertigo. Skin stretched, bones shifted, like birthing myself anew. I blacked out to the sound of my own screams. Woke to silk sheets, the hum of a central AC, and a body that moved wrong. Heavy breasts, manicured nails, the faint ache of heels from yesterday. The mirror in the en-suite bath confirmed it. Eleanor's face stared back, flawless and foreign. I'd done it. Swapped. A pounding at the door, frantic, fists like thunder. I smiled, slow and sharp, as I slipped into her robe. Time to play house. The first rush of power was intoxicating, like mainlining adrenaline straight from her veins. I flexed Eleanor's fingers, long, ringed with the emerald Dad left her, feeling the subtle tremor of age I hadn't noticed before. Her body was a well-oiled machine, Pilates toned, Botox frozen, fueled by kale smoothies and passive aggression. But beneath it, a weariness, like carrying the weight of every lie she'd told. I glanced at the security cam app on her iPhone. Me, or what used to be me, hammering the door in my scrubs, face twisted in rage that mirrored my own from weeks ago. Open up, you bitch. My voice, her voice, echoed tinny through the speaker. God, it was me, wild-eyed, drowned rat in the downpour. The real me, trapped in this shell of a life she'd discarded. I hit the intercom. Alina? What on earth? Let me in. It's me. Something's wrong, I feel. Off. Please, Mom. The word mom from my lips, in her voice, sent a shiver down my borrowed spine. Controversial? Hell, this was biblical. I buzzed her in, watching the feed as she stumbled inside, dripping on the Persian rug. Up close, in the foyer mirror, the swap was grotesque. My body, all 5'4" of honed muscle and dark curls, wearing Eleanor's face like a poorly fitted mask. Her eyes, my eyes now, darted, confused, pupils blown wide. "What did you do?" she hissed, grabbing her arms. Strong grip, the one I'd inherited from Dad's construction days. "This isn't. I drank something at the office. You were there." I wrenched free, stepping back into the living room's glow. "Careful. That's assault. And in my house now, technically half yours, until I say otherwise." Her laugh was ugly, bubbling up from my throat. "Your house? You're delusional. Whatever this is, drugs, breakdown, I'll have you Baker acted by noon." Baker acted. Florida's involuntary commit law, but Maryland had equivalents. She'd weaponize it, just like the eviction. I circled her, savoring the reversal. "Try it. Call the cops. Tell them your daughter, me, broke in and dosed you with what? Experimental nanites. Sound familiar?" She froze, my old Converse squeaking on the floor. The patient from the ER, his ravings about trials, swaps. She'd dismissed him as a junkie, but I'd seen the fear flicker. Now it blazed. "You crazy little, this is fraud. Identity theft. I'll sue you into the gutter." "And where's the gutter now, Mom?" "My apartment. The one I can barely afford because I was too busy covering your ass." I dropped the bomb, casual as loading a syringe. "Those Medicaid logs. The ones I backdated? Feds have my confession on file. Misdemeanor fraud, community service. But if I flip, mention your name." She lunged, nails raking my cheek. Her cheek, drawing pinpricks of blood that welled too neatly, too expensively moisturized. I shoved her back, harder than I meant, and she hit the coffee table, crystal decanter shattering like her composure. "Get out," I said, voice steel. "Locks are changed. You're trespassing." She scrambled up, shards crunching underfoot, my face a mask of fury and fear. "This isn't over. I'll expose you. The swap, the vial, it's murder, attempted, or whatever. They'll lock you up. Prove it." I held up her phone, already dialing her lawyer. "In the meantime, enjoy the couch in Silver Spring. Rent's due Friday." She bolted, door slamming, tires screeching into the night. I sank onto the sofa, her body trembling with aftershocks. The house settled around me, silent, vast, a monument to her conquests. Dad's old study upstairs, with a hidden safe where she stashed the real books, the ones that balanced her consulting fees against skimmed thousands. I'd found them years ago, copying pages on the sly, but never acted. Loyalty or fear. Now, leverage. First things, secure the swap. I raided her medicine cabinet. Xanax, Ambien, a bottle of something labeled trial serum, confidential. The patient's gift, mirrored. No reversal in sight, just warnings scrawled on the label. Permanent unless administered within 72 hours. Ethical breach, destroy. Ethical. From a black market site case. I flushed it, the swirl vanishing like my mercy. Her calendar pinged, meeting with Harlan and Associates, 9 a.m. Her lawyers, the sharks who drafted the contest against my inheritance. I dressed in her walk-in, tailored blouse, pencil skirt, pearls that choked like a noose. Makeup, subtle, powerful, the armor of Bethesda housewives. In the Mercedes, key fob purring to life. I felt the shift. Not just body, power. Her power. Credit cards with six-figure limits, Rolodex of influencers, a life built on stepping on necks like mine. The firm was all glass and mahogany, paralegals scurrying like mice. Harlan himself, Silver Fox, ex-frat boy, greeted me with a kiss on the cheek. "Eleanor, darling." The Alina situation? I slid into the leather chair, crossing legs that cost more than my monthly rent. Complicated. She's unstable. But I've reconsidered the codicil. No need to contest. In fact, I want to gift her half. Outright transfer, no strings. Harlan's brows shot up. Generous. Tax implications. Handle it. I leaned in, channeling her ice. And bury any filings on her issues. Clean slate. He nodded, scribbling. Done. Papers by end of week. Driving back, the sun broke through clouds, gilding the Beltway sprawl. Bethesda blurred by, yoga moms in Teslas, dads in suits barking into AirPods. My world, her world, now mine. But guilt gnawed, a dull ache in her liver-spotted hands. Was this justice or madness? The patient had raved about ethics boards, underground labs in Langley, CIA wet dreams gone rogue. If it unraveled, we'd both burn. Home, my home now, waited, pristine and predatory. I poured a scotch from her bar card. Neat, the burn familiar yet alien in her throat. Phone buzzed. Unknown number. Voicemail. Her voice, my voice, cracked. Alina, please. This body. It's wrong. I can't feel my fingers right. Doctors think stroke. Help me. I deleted it, but the echo lingered. Help. The word she'd never uttered. Not when Dad begged for morphine in his final hours. Not when I sobbed over her fraud fallout. No. This was payback, pure and pointed. Evening fell, and with it, the real work. I logged into her desktop. Password her wedding date, sentimental fool. Emails, offers on the house, 6.8 from a tech bro, eyeing a Reno flip. I countered, lowballing to stall. Then the safe, combination Dad's birthday. Inside, ledgers, neat columns of consults versus wire transfers to Cayman accounts. 80 grand skimmed, minimum. My misdemeanor? A slap for her felony. A noise, scrabbling at the back door. I crept to the kitchen, peering through blinds. Her, me, crouched there, soaked again, prying at the slider with a coat hanger. Desperate. I flipped the exterior lights, flooding the patio. She froze, rabbit in headlights. Go home, Mom. I called through the glass, voice amplified by the storm. She whirled, face, my face, streaked with mud and tears. Let me in. We can fix this. Whatever you took, there's more. I know people. People like the ones who dosed that psych patient, or the feds you dodged. I pressed closer, fogging the pain. You locked me out. Claimed I had no home. Now you don't. She slumped, hanger clattering. I did it for us. The money, it's for legacy. College for your kids, someday. I have no kids. Because of you. The hours, the stress, the lies. My fist met glass, muffled thud. You stole my life. Now I'm borrowing yours. Sirens wailed distant. Neighbor call? She bolted into shadows, vanishing like a bad dream. I double-checked locks, heart pounding in her chest. Sleep came fitful, dreams of her in my body, unraveling at work, fumbling IVs, slurring orders. By morning, my ID would flag at the hospital. Termination looming. Day 2 in her skin, power plays. I met her realtor circle at the club, Bethesda Country, where deals were sealed over Eggs Benedict. Eleanor, charmed, bids higher, weaving tales of family heirlooms to inflate value. Inside, I seethed, each laugh a mask for the storm brewing. Whispers, heard about your daughter. Trouble. Troubling, I replied, sipping mimosa. But handled. Afternoon, bank. Signed wires to her, offshores, rerouting to a new account in my name. Controversial? Embezzling from the embezzler. Her empire, crumbling from within. Night 3, the call. Hospital admin, voice grave. Miss Hargrove? Your relative? Alina? She's been admitted. Delirium, possible tox screen pending. Says she's you. I feign shock. Oh God. I'm coming. ER bays hummed with fluorescent hate. Monitors beeping dirges. There she lay, in my body, restraints loose on wrists that knew 4 starts by feel. Her eyes, my eyes, pleaded as I approached. Alina, Mom, fix this. I leaned close, breath ghosting her ear. Who's Alina now? Syringe in pocket, saline flush, harmless. But the temptation. No, not yet. Doctors clustered, stroke-like symptoms. Neurological anomaly. Keep her, I said. Family history of instability. As I left, her scream chased me. Monster. Monster. Pot, kettle. But in the parking lot, doubt cracked through. What if the swap stuck? Her life, my prison? Or mine? Hers, a broke nurse's cage? Back home, wine bottle half empty, I scrolled her contacts. Harlan, papers ready. Half the house mine. Sign tomorrow. Revenge crystallized. Take what she denied. Leave her stunned in the ruins. But the pounding returned, frenzied, at the front. Not her. Cops. Miss Hargrove? Complaint of impersonation. Your daughter claims. Twist 1, exposure. I opened the door, smile serene. Game on. The detective was a bull of a man, Irish lilt cutting through the rain-lashed night. Bethesda PD, badge gleaming under the porch light like a bad cop show prop. Ma'am, we got a 911 from Silver Spring. Woman claiming to be you, dosed with something experimental. Says you stole her life. Ring any bells? I leaned against the jamb, Eleanor's robe cinched tight, playing the victim to perfection. Her face, my face now, excelled at it. Wide eyes, quivering lip, the subtle clutch at pearls. Stole her life? Detective, my daughter's been spiraling. Pills from work, delusions. She broke in earlier, ranting about body swaps. I changed the locks for safety, had to. Now this. He jotted notes, pen scratching like claws on bone. Rain drummed the awning, a tense underscore. We picked her up, wandering eye, for 95, barefoot, screaming about nanites. ER says possible hallucinogens. But the ID, it's yours. Social matches. Stolen. I breathed, hand to mouth. God, she must have lifted it from my purse. She's always resented me. The inheritance fight, you know? Divorce vibes, but worse. He nodded, sympathetic grunt. Cops see family wars daily. This was Tuesday. We'll hold her for eval. 72-hour psych hold. Standard. You want to press charges? Trespassing, theft. Trespassing, yes. But charges. She's still my girl. Tier, right on cue. Oscar-worthy. Understood. We'll need a statement downtown tomorrow. As he left, cruiser taillights fading into the slick streets, I sagged against the door. Close. Too close. Her, my. Impersonation ploy backfired, landing her in the system I'd navigated for years. Irony, thy name is Karma. Inside, adrenaline crash hit like a code blue. I poured bourbon, her top-shelf Pappy Van Winkle, smoky as regret, and scrolled news on her tablet. Local feeds buzzed. Tech scandals, Potomac floods, nothing on rogue serums. But deeper dive, dark web whispers via her VPN, hidden in bookmarks, naturally, forums on neural transference trials. Langley Black Ops, big pharma cutouts. The patient, one of dozens, test subjects for elite empathy exercises. Reversible, only with a counterpart dose, lost in the ether. Dawn crept in, gray and grudging. I dressed for the station. Power suit, heels that clicked authority. Downtown Bethesda hummed. Commuters in Priuses, baristas slinging lattes like lifelines. The precinct smelled of stale coffee and despair, bullpen a cacophony of ringing phones and cursing clerks. Statement given, tears dried. She's always been jealous. Dads will split the house, 50-50. She thinks it's her due, but she's unstable. Nurses see it all the time. The ADA, a hairy brunette, nodded. We'll fast-track the hold. If she stabilizes, family court for conservatorship. You pushing that? Absolutely. Conservatorship, her endgame on me, flipped. I'd control her assets, her care. Poetic. Back home, Harlan's courier delivered. Quitclaim deed, half the property, to Alina M. Hargrove. I signed as executor, notarized via DocuSign. Half mine. The offer on the table? I'd accept. Pocket $3 million my share, leave her the husk. But the secret gnawed, buried deep, like Dad's ashes in the backyard rose bed. The real betrayal, not just the fraud, the disowning. It was the accident. 2012, my senior year. Mom's DUI smash-up, T-boning a minivan on Old Georgetown Road. Mom walked away, unscathed, but the other driver, teen mom, 2 kids orphaned. Mom panicked, called me from the scene. Alina, say you were driving. Borrowed the car. You're 18, clean record. I'd done it. Lied to cops, pled guilty to reckless endangerment. Community service, license suspended. She, clean, promoted months later. The buried secret, those kids' faces in my nightmares, her freedom bought with my youth. Now, in her skin, it itched like a fresh scar. I drove to the old neighborhood. Wheaton, not the gilded cage of Bethesda. The crash site, faded memorial cross, flowers wilted. A woman there, mid-40s, placing carnations. The aunt, I'd learned, raising the kids. Excuse me, I said, Eleanor's voice soft. You knew them? She turned, eyes hardening. Still do. And you, Eleanor Hargrove? What, come to gloat? Lie died on tongue. Truth serum of sorts. This body, her guilt manifesting? No, to confess. Her laugh, bitter. 20 years late. I drove. Not her. Me. Silence. Rain starting again. She studied me. Her wary. Why now? Redemption. Half-lie. For me, mostly. She handed me a card, PI, cold cases. If you're serious, call. But don't fuck with ghosts. Back home, the PI call burned in my pocket. Controversial decision 1. Expose her me? For the crash. Ruin her legacy to free mine. Evening brought escalation. My phone, her phone, lit with voicemails from the hospital. Miss Hargrove, your daughter's deteriorating. Seizures. We need next of kin consent for scans. I arrived under halos of ER lights. The familiar chaos, a twisted homecoming. She thrashed in bed for, my body convulsing, monitors shrieking. Doc swarmed, neurostorm, possible autoimmune, or toxin. I signed forms, her hand steady. Do what you must. Alone with her, restraints biting wrists, she rasped, end it. Please. Tempting. I stroked my hair, maternal mockery. But you don't get easy out. Feel what I felt, helpless, erased. Her eyes rolled, foam at lips. Pity flickered hers, mine. The swaps bleed, souls seeping. Outside, rain lashed, thunder rumbling like judgment. Harlan texted, deed filed. How's half yours? Sell? Not yet. Twist brewing. Day 4 media play. I leaked to a local blogger, anonymous tip. Real estate queen's fraud past, daughter's fall. By noon, tweets swirled, Bethesda betrayal. Her clients bailed, deals cratered. She called from the ward, voice slurry. You bitch. My reputation. Your turn. Click. Night. Intrusion. Back door splintered, figure in black, hoodie, gloves. Not her. She was cuffed to rails. I grabbed her letter opener. Sharp, silver, heart slamming. Who? He lunged, masked, knife glinting. Struggle. Her body, stronger than mine remembered, knee to groin, slash across arm. Blood welled hot. I pinned him, dialing 911. Intruder. Send backup. Cops hauled him. Tweaker hired? Boss said rough up the lady. Daughter sent me. Her. From the hospital. Desperation's blade. Interrogation. She denied, slurring incoherence. But evidence mounted. Burner phone in my old purse. Text traced. Charges, assault via proxy. Her empire cracked. I bandaged in her bath, mirror mocking the gash. Power's price. But the house? Mine now. Surveyors came dawn 5, marking halves. Literal line down the foyer, kitchen split. Neighbors gawked, whispers electric. Mom's downfall my ascent. Or mutual grave. The aunt called. Saw the news. Crash files. Open if you confess. Decision 2. Truth for half the house? No all. Climax neared, tension coiling like Potomac fog. The survey stakes gleamed like accusations in the morning dew, bisecting the lawn into mine and hers. A DMZ in suburbia, where Bermuda grass met Cold War. Neighbors clustered at property lines, iPhones capturing the spectacle. Hargrove house split. Family feud goes literal. I stood on my half porch, coffee steaming in a mug engraved world's best mom. Irony's bitter brew, watching the crew hammer the final marker into the driveway. Eleanor's body ached from the fight, stitches pulling like puppet strings, but the pain grounded me. This was real. Her power, crumbling under my heel. Harlan called mid-morning, voice oily with concern. Eleanor, wild headlines. Clients spooked. That blogger piece. Sloppy. We can sue for defamation. Let it ride. I said, pacing the kitchen. My kitchen now, Formica counters scarred from Dad's DIY disasters. Damage controls the sale. Listed as is, divided. Tech bros love quirky. Divided? That's novel. Legal but messy. And Alina's hold ends tomorrow. Bail. No. Flat. She emerged from psych limbo. Charges pending, a feral cat in my skin. Let her claw. Afternoon brought the aunt. Lydia, per the card. Tires crunching gravel as she parked her sensible Honda on the neutral zone. Mid-40s, lines etched by grief and gig economy shifts. She carried a manila envelope thick as a grudge. You called. About the confession. I nodded, gesturing to the sunroom. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the pool, water still and accusatory. We sat at wicker that creaked like old bones. The crash. I drove. Mom, Eleanor, pushed me to cover. Lydia's eyes, brown and unyielding, searched Eleanor's face. Why? Guilt? Or this circus? Both. Partial truth. The swap amplified it. Her body's twinges, phantom echoes of that night's screech, the crunch of metal. Files say reckless, But blood work? Booze level for 2. She was hammered, fleeing a gala. Envelope slid across. Photos yellowed. Police reports. Coroner's addendum. The kids, Jamal, 8, Tia, 5, grinning in school portraits, ghosts now. DA buried it. Your plea sealed the deal. But witnesses? The tow guy saw 2 women arguing post-rec. My gut twisted. Her gut. Acid reflux flaring. Witness. Buried deeper than ledgers. What do you want? Justice. Not money. The reparations help with college for the little ones now. She leaned in, voice steel. Public. Name her. Or I walk. Controversial decision 3. Expose on her dime. Tank the sale? Or buy silence. Preserve the half-house windfall? Rain-pattered glass. Decisions drumbeat. Public. Her nod. Reluctant respect. Tomorrow. Press conference at the memorial. She left, envelope burning in my lap. I rifled it. Dad's will codicil, annotated, for Alina, who bore our burdens. He knew. Suspected the fraud, maybe the crash cover. Legacy indeed. Evening. Hospital pickup. I arrived as they wheeled her out. My body, gaunt, 4 bruised, eyes hollowed by sedatives and swap sickness. Orderlies flanked, wary, assault charges loomed like storm clouds. Sign here, the doc said, forms for discharge against advice. I scrawled Eleanor Hargrove, conservator. She spat, weak but venomous. You think this wins? My lawyer, Harlan, knows contingencies. Trusts shells. You'll get dust. In the murk, my, hands cuffed for transport. Precaution, PD said. She slumped shotgun. Feel it. The itch? It's eating us. I glanced over, beltway blurring. Good. Payback's a slow poison. Silver Spring apartment loomed, a shoebox squat compared to the McMansion. Key under mat, ironic. Inside, chaos. Unpaid bills strewn, fridge humming emptiness. I uncuffed her, watching warily as she flexed fingers, my fingers, clumsy. Home sweet home, I mocked. Locks work. Fuck you. She lunged for the landline, but I yanked the cord. Struggle brief. Her in weakened shell, me in prime predator. I pinned her to the futon, knee on chest. Listen. Breath hot. The crash. I know about the witness. Lydia's got files. Tomorrow, it goes public. Your name, your fault. Her eyes, my eyes, widened, swaps mirror madness. You wouldn't. Ruin us both. Us? There is no us. I released, standing. Stay put. Bail hearings Monday. Assault 1, conspiracy 2. Enjoy County. She curled fetal, sobs racking my old frame. Pity? Fleeting. I left, door locking with final click. Her click, weeks ago. Night in the big house. Sleepless, ghosts congregating. Dad's photo on mantle, smiling oblivious. The intruder? Her higher, desperate bid to reclaim. But deeper, the antagonist's moxie. She'd clawed from trailer trash to titans, stepping on kin. Me? Nurse, fixer. Now flip. Dawn, memorial site, Wheaton. Press milled, local stringers, true crime podcasters sniffing drama. Lydia at podium, me beside an Eleanor Chanel. Microphones bristled like bayonets. Eleanor Hargrove confesses, Lydia intoned. 2012 crash. She drove, intoxicated. Forced daughter Alina to plead. Flashbulbs popped, questions barraged. I stepped up, voice steady. Her voice, laced with my fire. I hit it. For family. But truth outs. Apologies to the Vasquez family. Chaos. Reporters surged. Ms. Hargrove, the house split? Related. Daughter's arrest. Personal matters. I demurred, retreating to the murk. Phones exploded. Harlan, abort sale. Scandal kills bids. Clients, cancellations. Empire imploded. Back home, TV blared coverage. Real estate royalties reckoning. Her face, mine, plastered accused. Feds circling old fraud. Whispers. Evening, bail hearing. Courthouse sterile as, or, her in orange jump. My body, shrunken. Judge, flight risk. Remand. She locked eyes across room. Hatred pure. Monster. Your mirror. Climax brewed. House half sold. Proceeds frozen pending investigation. My share? Tied in probate hell. Night 4, wait 5. Time blurred in her skin. Pounding. Not cops, but Lydia. Feds called. Crash reopening. Your fraud logs? Anonymous tip. You're fucked. Me? Or her? The swaps bleed. Did I tip them in her haze? Twist loomed, tension taut as ER sutures. Decision 4. Reverse the swap? Hunt the serum source, for her or me. Underground forums pinged. Contact shadowy. Meet in DC, midnight. I drove Foggy Bottom, shadows pooling under monuments. Figure weighted. Lab coat, patient 2. Reversal dose. 50K. Stolen from her accounts. Wired. Vial exchanged. Cold. Back. Temptation. Dose her and it. Or self. She waited in holding, but I went home. House divided. Rain weeping windows. Syringe poised. Arm vein throbbing. Press. World spun. Fire again. Black. Waking was rebirth inverted. Bones grinding. Skin sloughing like snake shed in reverse. The bedroom spun. McMansion's master suite a carousel of excess. Canopy bed. Silk drapes. The faint scent of her Chanel No. 5 clinging like accusation. I flexed. Fingers stubby. Calloused from 4 taps. Nails bitten to nubs. My hands. My body. The swap reversed. Serum's mercy or curse. Clock glowed. 3:17 a.m. Rain eased to drizzle. World holding breath. I stumbled to the mirror. Alina stared back. Dark circles under hazel eyes. The gash on arm now mine. Stitches angry red. Her face? Where? Downstairs. Lights flickered in the kitchen. My half. A figure huddled at the island. Back to me. Nursing a tumbler. Eleanor's blonde bob. Disheveled. The reversal hit her too. Symbiotic, the forums warned. She turned, slow, her face, back to hers. Pale, Botox cracks showing like fault lines. You did it. Fixed it. I nodded, throat dry. Cost half your slush fund. Her laugh, hollow. My fund. Yours now, technically. Deeds filed. Silence stretched, tense as a standoff. The house creaked, divided heart beating erratic. Presser fallout. Her phone. On counter, buzzed nonstop. Harlan. Feds raiding tomorrow. Fraud probe reopened. Lydia. Crash charges. Manslaughter possible. Your confession holds. We faced off across the butcher block, halves mirroring, me in scrubs, her in silk pajamas. Why reverse? She asked, voice small. Not queenly. Human. Twist. I poured water, gulping. Thought you'd fight fairer in your skin. Face the music you composed. Her eyes narrowed, old fire flickering. Fair? You stole my life. Days as a junkie nurse, pounding doors. I felt it. The nothing. The erasure. Good. Blunt. Echo of what you planned for me. She rose, pacing her half. Kitchenette now, fridge humming isolation. The crash. I panicked. Your future, nursing school apps, scholarships. Mine. Ruined. Lie. I slapped the envelope down, photos spilling. You covered for you. Always. Tears. Real, streaking mascara, tracked her cheeks. Maybe. But Dad knew. The codicil? Punishment. For all of it. Punishment. Buried secrets core. He'd suspected, chosen me as heir to atone. Legacy twisted. Sirens wailed distant. Dawn raid. We froze. Antagonists turned allies in abyss. Decision 5. Run? Or stand, controversial to end. I took half the house, I said, voice steady. Not for money. For proof. You can't lock out blood. She nodded, slow. Sell it. Split real. Start over. Over? Feds breached driveway, lights strobing. Doors burst, hers first. Eleanor Hargrove. Federal agents. She straightened, regal in ruin. Handle it. Together. I did. Statements. Joint confession. Fraud hers. Crash mine. No hers. Swap? Delusion omitted. Therapy spin. Cuffs clicked. Hers, not mine. She glanced back, from squad car. Love you, kid. Fucked up way to say it. Same. Door shut. Weeks blurred. Trial prep. House auction. 7 mil total. Half mine. 3.5 bought a condo in DC. Fresh start. Nursing? Suspended, but cleared. Hero whistleblower. Twist final. Labs called. Serum analysis. Placebo? No swap. Mass hysteria. Her breakdown my enabling. Body dysmorphia. Shared delusion from stress. Her guilt projecting. Truth reversed. No magic. Just us. Broken mirrors reflecting monsters we birthed. Ending? Happy. I walked free. House money seeding a foundation. For crash victims. Fraud survivors. She. 10 years white collar. Out in 7. Letters from Prison, Build Better. For Dad. By Kitch. Readers debate, justice or cruelty's cycle. I debate nightly, staring at my whole reflection. The rain stops. Sun crests Potomac. New day, half a house lighter.